So if you watch my corn videos, you see that agriculture started out in Peru a long time ago. Like the first civilizations, the oldest structures and pyramids ever built were actually in Peru, in the site called Caral Supe. It predates Mesopotamia and the Egyptian dynasties. All right, so look into it. Also, did you know that the oldest mummies were actually in Chile and Peru and not in Egypt? Since the early 1900s, almost 300 human mummies have been uncovered along the coast of southern Peru and northern Chile, including adults, children, infants, and miscarried fetuses. With some dated to as far back as 5050 BC, there are the oldest mummies discovered in the world today. Alright, you hear that? Not in Egypt. They were made by a group of hunter-gatherers known as the Chinchorro people, who were mummifying their dead roughly 2,000 years before the ancient Egyptians began mummifying their pharaohs. The dates that we have for the bodies are from 7,000 years ago. So they have more relative antiquity in terms of international work on the human body than that found in Egypt, says Medina Para. Alright? And in Wikipedia we read, the Chinchorro mummies. The Chinchorro mummies are mummified remains of individuals from the South American Chinchorro culture, found in what is now northern Chile. They are the oldest examples of artificially mummified human remains, having been buried up to 2,000 years before the Egyptian mummies. While the earliest mummy that has been found in Egypt dated around 3000 BC, the oldest anthropogenically modified Chinchorro mummy dates from around 5050 BC. The oldest naturally mummified mummy recovered from the Atacama Desert is dated around 7020 BC. You're hearing that? That's almost 9 to 10,000 years ago, people, right? So where is the true old world? Shell midden and bone chemistry suggest that 90% of the people's diet was seafood. Many ancient cultures of fisher folk existed, tucked away in the arid river valleys of the Andes. But the Chinchorro made themselves unique by their dedicated preservation of the dead. Alright, so where is the true old world? Alright, I'm gonna read from this book right here, or this scholarly journal magazine. It says Latin American Antiquity, Volume 6, Number 1. This is from March 1995. You find it on pages 35 to 55, about 21 pages. And it says here, Chinchorro, Bioarchaeology, Chronology, and Mummy Seriation, Bernardo T. Arriaza. The Chinchorros were a pre-ceramic fishing society that inhabited the Atacama coast of southern Peru and northern Chile from about 7020 to 1110 BC. And their antiquity is much greater than originally thought. All right, so now remember, 7020, that's over 9,000 years ago. We're in 2020 AD right now. That's 9,000 years ago. And they're even saying that it's actually much greater than originally thought. Previous Chinchorro chronologies have focused on seriation of fish and implements. This paper suggests analysis of mummies as another useful chronological tool. The Chinchorro system of artificial mummification, the oldest in the world, all right? The oldest in the world. It's not in Africa, it's in America. The oldest mummification, all right, in the world. Here, began about 5050 BC and was abandoned about 1720 BC. Black, red, bandaged, mud-coated, and natural mummification styles represent diachronic cultural changes. In contrast to previous views, I argue that the sophisticated Chinchorro mortuary practices originated locally near Arica. All right, so this town, this place right here is very ancient. Just look at this word, Arica. If you put an F between A and R, what do you guys get? If you put an F between the A and the R, Africa, right? All right, so I'm not saying this is Africa. I'm just saying, what is the coincidence, right? And then we're also finding these mummies here. And I'm going to show you what Arica looks like, specifically in the Camarones Gorge. The high concentration of cemeteries, high mortuary energy, expenditure, presence of villages, and heavy reliance on maritime subsistence. As an inferred from mummies, artifacts, and human bone analysis are all indicators that the Chinchorros were an early set
sedentary maritime society. All right, they were going around the world. They were on the seas. These are sea people. All right, they had ships. The ideological complexity and antiquity. All right, antiquity of settlement of the Andean coast therefore needs reappraisal. He's saying the what's written in history right now needs to be reappraised because it's much, much, much older and very complex. All right, a maritime people that were able to go on the sea. So imagine where they went. A little further down in the article, it says, in this text, I use the terms chinchorro or chinchorros or chinchorro people, and interchangeably with the concept of chinchorro culture. A chinchorro mummy is a body from this culture, preserved either by natural or artificial means. Such mummies were commonly wrapped in reed mat or camelid skin. All right, camelid skin, camels, and camel skin. Yes, in America, camels. In ancient America, their skin being used to wrap mummies. Imagine camels, right? You didn't know camels originated in America? Hold up, let me show you, man. All right, so real quick, we're gonna go to one of my videos. This is part 9 of my series, Untold Ancient American Truth, the origin of animals, mammals, camels, horses, dogs, and many more things, all right? This is about an hour video. We're not gonna show the whole video right now. This is just to correlate what we just read. Remember, they're telling us, right, that they got the oldest mummies in the world here in Chile, in this place called Arica. You add an F, it's like almost Africa, and they're even wrapping their mummies with camelid skin. Yeah, camels in America, they originated there. All right, let's get this like it's the first time real quick.
Our true origin and home, and knowing now that America is the true old world, right? So, for example, when we think of ancient Egypt, we think of desert, right? Camels, pyramids, right? Now, what have we learned recently? We know ancient Egypt, right? That's a Greek word. We know it was really called Tamari, Ameri, beloved land. We know that was over here in Tamarika, right? Ancient Egypt was here in America. So, do we have pyramids over here? Yes. Do we have deserts over here? Yes. And did we have camels over here? That's a big yes. In fact, I will show you camels originated here in America. And horses, elephants, lions. All right, we're going to see all that.
All right, so you're like, but Kurimeo, those are just some regular websites. All right, so let's just get into this, right? So again, I told you the camels are from the Camelidae family, all right? And it says here, molecular evolution of the family Camelidae, a mitochondrial DNA study by Helen F. Stanley, Miranda Catwell, and Jane C. Wheeler, Conservation Genetics Group, Institute of Zoology, Regent Parks, London, and Facultad de Medicina Veterinaria, Universidad de San Marcos, Lima, Peru. All right, so it says here, introduction, the family Camelidae, which originated in North America. Again, what? Originated where? In North America. So wait a minute, I thought the Garden of Eden was over there in Iraq, Mesopotamia over there, What's going on here? During the Eocene, 40 to 45 million years ago. Now comprises 2 Old World tribe Camelini and 4 New World tribe Lamini, species with the division between the Lamini and the Camelini dating to approximately 11 millennia ago. Migrations to South America and Asia occurred approximately 3 million years ago. So they just got them 3 million years ago. We've been had camels here way longer than they had them over there. All right. And who's to say they weren't here still? All right, when they came back. All right. So again, they originated in North America and they migrated to South America and Asia. So what is this telling us? And both the Camelini and Lamini subsequently became extinct in North America. All right. So again, I'm gonna put all these links up for you and in the video description, so you can go ahead and read the whole thing.
All right, so now we're here in this website, part of the PBS channel. Says Wildlife Journal Junior. Says camelidae, camels, llamas, alpacas, and vicuñas. Although there are no living species of camelidae family in North America today, the fossil records, again, the fossil records, real science, right, shows that the family started and evolved there. The camelid family started. It started origin. We're talking about garden of Eden. We're talking about the first land out of the water. All right, where animals eventually evolved and started. All right, the camelidae family is one of those. The camel, an icon of Egypt, right? That was over here. Ancient Egypt, Tamari was over here. Members of this family migrated to South America and Asia. They went to Asia from here, over land bridges, they say. They don't know this stuff. They don't know if it was from the Bering Bridge or if the land was already attached, if it extended all the way to Asia. They don't know. They guess. All right, but they know that it originated here because of the fossil records. All right, I'm in the U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health, it says here. And this is an article, says the history of old world camelids in the light of molecular genetics. All right, it says old world camels have come into the focus as sustainable livestock species, unique in their morphological and physiological characteristics and capable of providing vital products even under extreme environmental conditions. The evolutionary history of dromedary and Bactrian camels traces back to the Middle Oligocene, around 40 million years ago, when the ancestors of the camelus emerged on the North American continent. Again, where? On the North American continent, not Asia, not Africa.
All right. So I'm gonna stop it right there. And I get again, that was a little excerpt of my video, part 9, Untold Ancient American Truth, the origin of animals. This is a great video. A lot of drop there. Make sure to catch the whole video if you haven't seen it, or if you saw it and just want to go over it again, because there's a lot of good info there. Make sure to catch that. All right, we're gonna go back to what we were discussing about the Chinchorro mummies. All right. So again, regarding the Chinchorro mummies, right? They were wrapped in what? Reed mat and camelid skin. Yeah, camel skin. All right. Camel skin, the oldest mummies. And yes, we had camels, which originated in America. Dodge the hijack, break the spell. All right. So real quick, just want to talk about, this is kind of like the main area where they found the mummies. This place right here, Arica. And this is what I was saying. Just add the F right here between the A and the R and you get Africa, right? Arica. What came first? I don't know. And Africa, we already know it's a Roman word. It was a Roman colony in Tunisia, in Tunis. Okay, so it's Arica province of northern Chile's Arica Parinacota region. Look at that. Look at that mountain right there. It is Chile's northernmost city, being located only 18 kilometers south of the border of Peru. So it's like right at the border of Peru. You see that? So anciently, there was a lot of trade and culture going on right here, different nations. Remember, these were maritime people. Okay, I just want to go to the history part. It says archaeological findings indicate that Arica was inhabited by different native groups dating back 10,000 years. 10,000 years? I mean, come on. Are we going to argue this even further? This is way before anybody in ancient Egypt. We're talking about not just hunter and gatherers 10,000 years ago. We're talking about people who had cities, complex societies, villages, all right? Mummification. Remember, 7,000 BC, that's almost 9,000 years ago. And the guy said it could even go even further back. All right, so I just wanted to show you where Arica is. Arica, where they find in the mummies, right? So this is the Pacific Ocean. This is in the border. Again, this is Chile and Peru. I'm going to back up so you guys can see. So this is the border right here. This is Peru right here. This is Chile. This is the red line. Let me back up some more so you guys can see where we're at. All right, even more. All right, Bolivia over here, Peru over here, Brazil. All right, now, so imagine these people were maritime people. They're right on the coast. They could have gone anywhere over here. And what's on this side? Look at these little islands. You're saying they couldn't get to Easter Island? Remember Easter Island, where they got the heads? All right, and then Papiti, all these places, Apia, the Fiji Islands. Look, what's the first island? The Fiji Islands, Vanuatu, New Caledonia. We got the Melanesians, right? Solomon Islands. right? Papua New Guinea, right? We're talking about ancient trade here. We're talking about Lemuria, a little piece of America. There's a lot of ancient maps that has all this side a lot bigger in South America, extending all the way over here. All right, these are the top of mountains, most likely. So I just wanted to show you guys, get a reference. And I also just look at the images here. So real quick, just want to show you. I mean, the place is very like a desert, you know. This is what it looks like. And the very thing that you should notice is the date palm, the phoenix date palm, the palm tree right here, which is an ancient symbol of Egypt. Check out my thought videos. I believe it's on part 2 of my thought videos, how we break down the phoenix and the date palm and why they're related. And it's also a symbol of the year, 365 days and a great year of Egypt, you know, with the phoenix and all that. Just like, you know, see here the date palm in ancient history, and it's the exact same one in ancient Egypt. All right, it says the Greeks described phoenix bird as a wonderful bird which lived through periods of many hundred years. It was said that before dying, this bird built its own funerary pile, setting fire to it by fanning it with its own wings, and eventually arose again from its own ashes. In ancient Egypt, the date palm was known from the first pharaonic dynasties. So I just wanted to show you the importance of the date palm, right? In ancient Egypt. What Egypt? All right, again, we have date palms all over. Arica, where they're finding mummies. It's filled with palm trees, date palms there. It's all date palms there, all over the place. All right, again, desert. They had camels, desert, ancient civilization over 10,000 years ago, and date palms. All right, what else do you want to see?
All right, so all these different scholars are correlating with each other about the antiquity of America, right? The true old world and its ancient civilizations, its ancient peoples. And just to correlate with that, I wanted to read from this book. It's called The American Past, A Survey of American History, Volume 1 to 1877. And so we can see how America also contributed to the rest of the world in another way. And so it says here, feeding the world. America contributed few food animals to world larders, but American plant foods revolutionized European, African, and Asian diets. Alright, even African. Maize, Indian corn, and American native astonished Europeans by the height of its stalks and the size of its grain. Cultivation of the crop spread to every continent, increasing the food supply and contributing to the runaway increase in population that characterizes the last 500 years of human history. So you see how important corn was, just corn alone. And if you saw my corn videos, you know, it proves this is the old world. The beginning of a civilization was through agriculture, and you just read it right here in this book. It's telling us because of the increase of food supply that it creates, this plant, this miracle plant, right? The plant of the gods, the sacred tree in a lot of these places in the old world is actually a maize plant or a corn plant. All right, so let's continue. It says the sweet potato became a staple in West Africa. All right, so even the sweet potato, it became a staple in West Africa, where it was introduced by slave traders. So it happened the opposite way, he's saying. All right, the jam, superficially similar, was already established there. Okay, so they had jam. It says beans, squash, and pumpkins, peppers, strawberries. There was a European strawberry, but it was inferior to the American. And then vanilla, chocolate, wild rice, and tomatoes are American foods. All those foods you heard, right? That were unknown in Europe, Africa, and Asia before 1492, it says there, right? You know, I highly doubt that, honestly. I know that these foods were probably there longer. Way before 1492, but they did originate from America. Now listen to this part. Of 640 food crops grown in Africa today, almost 600 of them originated in the Americas. Again, of 640 food crops grown in Africa today, almost 600 of them originated in the Americas. So you're saying only 40 of them did not? So 600 of their food crops are American of origin. So what does that tell you? Who is older? Where did it originate? Alright, so who was growing food first? These kind of plants. Who domesticated all these plants first? That means who was doing agriculture first. That means who created the first civilizations. Alright, all correlating, right? It says the manioc, tapioca, also of American origin, is today a staple for 200 million people in the tropics. Again, the manioc, the tapioca, also of American origin, is today a staple for 200 million people in the tropics. The white Irish potato, a native of the Andes, provides basic subsistence for even greater numbers. Alright, so the potato, it's not Irish, it's from here. So I can go on and show you numerous references and correlation that America is proven to be the actual real old world. You know, whether it was a piece of Lemuria and Atlantis all together and only that part sank, or it came after those two sank, but it is, like the other book said, one of the first lands out of the primordial waters. America was very ancient. All right.